What's cracking with y'all? It's your boy Prince the Hustle God, aka Wise the Warlock, aka damn, I lost my psych, Michelangelo the Madman, and we reaching in that combat tool bag one more again. It is a cool black affair. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. LDBC only, LDBC or nothing. LDBC everywhere, LDBC versus everybody. Guys, welcome to Boxing Breakdown, episode 9, aka Boxing Weekly. Um, Now it's time for the housekeeping items. Do me a favor, family. Support, sub, follow, everything. LDBC, Trilitary, TWT, Simple Truth Network, and my OGs. OG Loco, Kano Loco Sports TV, OG K Hope, that's Black Fight Fan TV, and the General, the motherfucking General. Goddamn me, 7-8 Sports TV. Support, subscribe, shopusualsuspect6.com, shopusualsuspect6.com. Support my brothers, the Usual Suspect 6. Each and every one of them, they got something up there for your liking. Take a peruse through their gallery, and trust me, you'll find something you like and love. That said, also support my brother, my young blood brother, Black Sun, the 9-4 Sun God on IG and on YouTube. This beat is courtesy of him. He's an entrepreneur, or artist, musician. He does it all. Also, check out my other two channels. Trust me, guys, I got something big coming. Check out my other two channels, HFO Church and Acting Right TV. They're my other two platforms. That said, there are 3 ways to support the channel, guys. 3 ways to support the channel. They are all in the description. 1, shopusualsuspect6.com, shopusualsuspect6.com. Get you some combat tool bag merch, to support me. So go to shopusualsuspect6.com, get you some combat tool bag merch. We got warm weather gear, cool weather gear. We got everything you might think. We got combat tool bags. We got hats. We got shirts, hoodies, shoes, leggings, sweats. It's all there. Way number 2, we got the Hustle God series on Amazon.com. 5th installment coming soon, but we got the Hustle God entry level, but financial literacy series available on Amazon.com. Please support. Type in Hustle God series or Hustle God methodology in Amazon, or Michelangelo Turner in Amazon, and you'll find Hustle God Linguistics of Money, Hustle God Masterpiece Daily Golden Mind Molding, Hustle God Afro Gold Part 1, and Hustle God Art of the Hustle. And third, final way to support the channel is you can sponsor an athlete. You know what I'm saying? You can sponsor a creator by diving into the Cash App, donate to the Cash App, anything, anytime. It all counts and it goes a long way. That's Cashtag hustlegodinc. That's the Cashtag is $hustlegodinc. $hustlegodinc. That said, all of the links are in the description. And welcome, family. Welcome. We are here. So, episode 9 of the Boxing Breakdown. Episode 9 of Boxing Weekly. We got a lot on the bracket for today. So to give you guys a preview of what we'll be discussing, we got AB versus Michael Williams Jr. We got Benavidez versus Caleb Plant. We got Roy Jones Jr. versus some muscled up psycho. We got Paul versus Fury, and Badu Jack versus Uncaso, I believe. Screwed that name up. And we also got to cover, Better Biev versus Yard, obviously. But then we got Abraham Nova with probably one of the fastest turnarounds of his career versus Henry LeBron. So Henry Macho LeBron. And then we may have a special guest dropping by, and but I'll save that for the time being. But that said, we'll get into some lightweight topics and let some of the family get in the room and come on in the building. So yeah, that said, let's start. We'll start at the top with the Better BF versus Yard. So let me start by saying all props to Anthony Yard. And hopefully you guys can hear me good. I'm trying a different thing. I got a little bit of somewhat some background music. It's not from this speaker that you guys may see in this thing. I just got my camera turned around, but again, I got a little bit of background music. Oh, Scott, my brother Tim, what's cracking with you? Cuz welcome. Appreciate you stopping by, and salute to you, my man. Keep up the great motherfucking work. Just do. Family, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by, and you keep up the great fucking work as well, my brother. Thank you guys for the support and much love. Just getting started, actually, and just touching on the first topic of the day. And you already know, again, appreciate it, and all of the love is reciprocal. So, but yeah, Anthony Yard. Let me start off by saying Anthony Yard. He gave a very valiant effort. Anthony Yard was initiating all of the exchanges, winning most of them, at least winning the beginning half of some of the exchanges. He went in there, he fought with his heart, and he also tried to implement a game stick and move and get out of dodge, right? But I would say it would be a good game plan for a stick and move boxer. Anthony Yard, we know, is naturally a lot more stationary. He stands in the pocket, and he's a lot more slick there. He's a lot more of a uh, and and I hate to use this comparison because it's given extremely high praise, but stationary wise, or at least stylistic wise, he's more of a slickster like a James Toney who will stand in the pocket with you. He's not a sweet piece slickster. So to try to implement that sweet piece style, I think is where he ran into a lot of flaws. A lot of that uh, game plan was given away in the very first round where he had a lot of nervous energy and he immediately showed his cards by not stepping forward to better Biev, but he started showing him that he was going to use a lot of lateral movement to win this fight. But that said, I might as well start picking apart the entire fight. So again, kudos to Anthony Yard. He fought valiantly and hard while he lasted. But my overall breakdown of this fight, I gotta go into it. And so before before we even got here, um, I I called Better BF stopping Yard in the ninth or 10th. Um, I had it 9 or 10, him stopping Yard, but I was rooting for Yard. If anything, it's a cold black affair over here. So I was rooting for Yard. I was trying to be a boxer optimist, but I couldn't commit to the ideology. Shout out to my brother Hustler's Home, who essentially coined that term. But the boxing optimist by completely committing to saying, "All right, I got Yard winning this fight," because we all knew it was a matter of when with Beterbiev. But that said, um, things questions were raised, guys, throughout the rollout, and I think great questions were raised, which is courtesy of the family TWT and courtesy of the family LDBC and true boxing hardcore fans, and that was, will Beterbiev age overnight? And that was something that I have to credit strictly to the family TWT and LDBC, because that's where those questions were posed, and it was just before the fight. It was like perfect timing, and it gave a lot of the people who were rooting for Yard a lot more faith to believe in Yard, because if Beterbiev aged overnight, and seeing as he's been knocked down before, but hasn't had faced a puncher with a stature of someone like Yard. He's fought um, other boxers, and like Marcus Brown and Vodstick and other people who had some pop but not punchers. You know what I mean? Like Anthony Yard is a puncher boxer, and yeah. So again, we knew it was a matter of when, and then but I couldn't commit to, again, the boxing optimist ideology of just being like, all right, he could age overnight. He's been knocked down. Yard can do it. No, I still felt, just based off of track record or based off of proven experience in the ring, a man who was 18-0 with 18 knockouts was going to turn 19-0 with or without the knockout. So I didn't see Yard surviving. But so going into the actual fight, Yard gets in there and immediately starts sticking and moving. And I think immediately, for me, we all seen it. I think everyone saw that it was a lot of nervous energy and a lot of leaky energy. So he was wasting a lot of energy thinking fast, faster than he needed to be, seeing that man in front of him and it actually being live and not preparation for Better BF, but actually being in front in war with Better BF. He started to waste a lot of energy, and then immediately gave the game plan away as, I'm going to touch you, initiate these exchanges, and in the gym we call it be first, be last, and that's literally stick and move, get in, get out. And that's what Yard was trying to do. But again, Yard stylistically is not a sweet pea. He can't sustain get in and get out all night. He can't. We've seen him fight Sergey Kovalev, and we've seen him fight other fighters where he went closer to the distance and gassed out just from fighting his natural style. So what makes you think he can utilize all of this lateral movement and not gas out even faster? But he was able to sustain it, and he was effective. He was initiating most of the exchanges and winning a lot of the exchanges, but was getting caught with big counter shots and was also letting Beterbiev finish the exchanges. So he wasn't effectively being first and being last. He was just being first at times. So where he would be effective and crack Beterbiev and then crack him with something else to try to follow up, he would get in range for Beterbiev's uppercut or get in range for Beterbiev's left or right hook. So that was a consistent problem he ran into. And Tunde, listening to Tunde in the corner, I hate to be one of the rest of the pack, but it's a fact. He did not give actionable adjustments to Anthony Yard. It's one thing to give him a game plan he can't implement or sustain. He can show you in training that he can move this way and he can do that, but he hasn't shown you in a battle tested scenario, hence wink wink sparring, to sustain that consistently. So we knew strategy wise that was a flaw. But while we seeing that the strategy is being broke, Tunde wasn't giving actionable adjustments for him to make there. He was essentially telling him to do what he was already doing. Land that left hook, which he's been landing, but you're not telling him how to defend the counters or counter the counters that Beterbiev is essentially setting him up for. And then the lateral movement, when he started to gas out from the waist down, he started to trap himself on the ropes. And Beterbiev would press him from the ropes into the corner to where Yard would try to turn him, and Beterbiev would just turn him right back. And it was, but I will say, overall, it was an excellent fight while it lasted. But up until, to the point where it didn't, he knocks Yard down. I think it was twice. It may have been once, and then it was twice. But he knocked him down that second time, and he looked over at Tunde, and he said something, and some people say he said, "Get me the hell out of here." Some people say he said, "Get him off me." Some people say he said, "What round is it?" Now, looking over at your corner while on your knees and having a conversation is a bad sign to send to the fans, a bad sign to send to yourself. And it's obvious that it's desperate. It's essentially expressing, I'm desperate here. I'm on my knees, meaning this man took me off my knees and did what is essentially the best thing you can do in boxing, is knock someone down. That's the highest amount of points you can achieve in this sport. So he already knocked me down. I'm not looking at him or the referee, but I'm looking at my corner, and I'm not on my feet having a conversation with my coach and looking at my opponent and listening to my coach, but I'm eyes off my opponent, meaning there's no protect yourself at all times. I'm down and I'm talking to my coach. That in itself is almost an admission or a submission, a giving in. So we knew there was nothing good to come from that. So I do understand why Tunde jumped up and stopped it, but I don't know that based off of me not knowing the clear audio of what he said to Tunde, um, I I would say he quit in the sense that he stayed down, milked the time down while talking to Tunde, and then when he jumped up, a couple punches were thrown. He started to move, and then Tunde was literally up. It was almost like Tunde teleported to the corner. So that's all I got on that. Not to beat a dead horse, but again, valiant effort, yard. Nothing to be ashamed of. Just don't be talking to your coach while you on your knees, man. It's already worse. It's already bad enough that a man put you down there. But gather yourself internally. Don't let the world know that what the struggle that you're having internally. Um, don't be Tiafimo Lopez. Do I still got it? Because that's essentially what those moments entail. But moving on, because I doubt that my guest is gonna be able to make it on today. So we're gonna keep it short and sweet. And I appreciate y'all tapping in with me and fucking with your boy. Hopefully you can hear well and the audio's good. I didn't want it to be dead background, so hopefully y'all can somewhat hear the beat too. But so now that we passed that, I want to talk Abraham and Supernova Abraham and LeBron. So Abraham just beat Adam Lopez maybe last month. No, not maybe, but last month, and in a tough fight. I mean, they had a war, and Nova came out on top, and basically he has less than a month off. Well, he has no time off because he has this fast turnaround where he fights April 1st against Henry. I think it's Macho Henry LeBron. But he fights him uh, April 1st. So my thoughts on that is that's an extremely fast turnaround coming off of the fight that he just had, getting hit with those kind of shots, and basically going right back into sparring and sustaining essentially that training camp that you used for Adam Lopez and extending that. Well, you can't extend it because you already went to war. So using that training camp and basically not having a recoup period after your fight and going into this other fight with a strong puncher, educated boxer as well, I'm not sure is such a great idea, especially just that being the first win after he just knocked out. He just got knocked out by my guy Robisi Ramirez. So it's like it shows this man is a dog and a true fighter. He's here to fight. It's just in the world of boxing today, we don't see a lot of guys wanting to fight and fight like that, tough fight after tough fight after tough fight. And kudos to him for that. I just worry about his chances on winning because there's no way of saying that he's had another full. He doesn't have another full 8-week camp because of the timing of the last fight and the timing of his next fight. So he is using effectively the Adam Lopez camp and no recuperation period and having basically a micro camp going into this Henry LeBron fight, which says a lot about his confidence in self. And also, it says a lot about his opinion of his opponent because it's one thing to be extremely confident in self, but you also have to be realistic about the threat level. And it being realistic doesn't mean pick or choose your opponents. It just means the time and preparation needed. Do you feel you need an 8-week camp? Meaning, do you feel you need to be at your best to beat this guy? And effectively, he's saying no by his actions, by taking such a fast turnaround. I don't have to be at my absolute best to beat LeBron, essentially, is what Nova is saying, which is, I think, a bad idea because it's a bad ideology. But I think it's a great show of heart and a great show of cojones or merit as a warrior. So I'm excited for that fight. It's a part of a big card. I believe it's a part of the Shakur Stevenson card, which he has all of the prospects typically on his undercard. So his shows are starting to grow as well. But this point was specifically about Nova Abraham. So good luck on that fight. Who do I have in that fight? Essentially, you have it's a cold black affair, so I'll be rooting for Abraham. But you heard my breakdown, so you essentially get what's to be expected. A man essentially coming in with a half a camp, a micro camp, off of a tough fight, going into an even tougher fight. So I think Henry LeBron may end up with a TKO, a ref stoppage, not an actual knockout, but and if not, he may knock him down with a body shot, and the ref may wave it off or something like that. But I don't see this fight going the distance between two aggressive fighters, um, two Latin warriors, if you will. Yeah. So that said, let's move on to Paul versus Fury. So we got Jake Paul versus Huey Fury. I think it's that. Yeah. So they had a little spat, a little face to face. Paul tried to take a swing at. Fury tried to take a swing at Jake and rattled Jake a little bit. I don't think he hit him, but he had Jake ready to fight right then and there. Jake was frustrated and flustered. What I like to see, like I said on my man K Raj channel, is that the Furies don't just discuss black people. The Furies discussed all people. You know what I mean? Because Jake Paul had nothing but disgust on his face. I mean, we seen the kid turning red, and again, like I said on K Raj channel, I went a little bit into my background. So I have over 11 years of experience. 11? No, I have like maybe 16, yeah, closer to 16 years of experience in acting. I went to school for acting and directing. That's where I went to college. I was a Dean's List student there for like arts and shit. But that said, you get the stimulus in the body language. That's one thing that we study. Stimuli is what causes you to react, and obviously body language is a byproduct of stimulus, is a byproduct of that reaction. So when you look at how Jake Paul usually is clowning motherfuckers and is in control of the situation, in control of the conversation, and dominant, and he's always having fun. He wasn't having any fun in that ring talking to Fury after he took a swing at him, and he was just like in absolute disgust. So that said, obviously I'm rooting for Jake Paul versus Fury, because he can relate. He can relate to hating the Fury. And Paul also said that, hey Fury, I love you, but I'm knocking your brother the fuck out. So get him the fuck out of here. But yeah, on that card, we also should have Badu Jack versus some guy, and I'm rooting for Badu Jack. I want Badu Jack to come back and get a good decision. He's been having a tough time in these streets. Having every time he's had a tough fight, they'll call it a draw. It's like he has to literally kill somebody. Excuse my language. He gotta hurt somebody bad or put somebody down for good for him to get credit for what he's doing. And he's not. He's a boxer. He's not a puncher. You know what I mean? He overwhelms you. So but yeah, Badu Jack, another showing of Badu Jack, someone who always leaves it all in the ring. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, Badu Jack for sure in that bout. And moving on, we only got a few more topics, guys. I appreciate y'all who came through. I appreciate y'all for tapping the like button. I appreciate all of y'all for stopping by and fucking with me. But just a few more topics. We got Roy Jones is fighting some musclehead psycho. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know what the hell Roy Jones is supposed to do at this age. When they had their face off, like dudes barking and flexing, doing burpee push-ups and shadow boxing, and then on top of that, he looks like like a human fused with a pit bull bear guy. And um, I say that to say I guess he's in crazy shape. He literally looks like he eats roids for breakfast. But and Roy Jones looks like a great granddad. You know what I'm saying? Roy Jones looks like somebody's great granddad out there, and didn't he had a hoodie on? He wasn't engaging in none of that. He was up there on his George Foreman. He's like, I'm here. Let him be. You got this. Go ahead. So I'm scared for Roy Jones Jr. People. Um, he got to have some money problems to still be getting in a ring like this. You don't just love boxing and expose yourself to crazy dangers at this age unless you're having some crazy ass money problems. So, Roy, do better with your money, man. I ain't watching your pockets, but I'm watching you with titties in the ring, and you ain't supposed to be having grays coming out your chest and grays coming on your shoulders and your back, and you Gucci in the bank. You know what I'm saying? So clearly there's an imbalance here, and we don't want to see you getting hurt. Like, because it's one thing to see you getting knocked out and you're like just past your prime, but you like two primes past your prime at this point. If you get knocked out now, you may not wake up. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to harp too much on that. I just know he's fighting some psycho who's going to try to bite his head off. And hopefully, this guy can't box for shit. Hopefully, for some reason, he'll just be windmilling and Roy Jones just grows another arm and uppercuts this man somehow. But I'm praying for Roy Jones at this point. But yeah, so the last two topics, the first of last is we got Benavidez versus Caleb Plant, March 25th, man. It's coming up. So I got Caleb Plant. Like, it ain't no question with that. Benavidez is a tough fighter. He's a walk him down volume puncher. Definitely not a one punch knockout fighter. Uh, he's he's yeah, that's what I can say about David Benavidez. I'm not really absolutely sold that he's the guy at 168 until he gets some actual scalps. He gets some actual bodies, like not actual bodies, but he gets some names on his resume. But Caleb Plant is already more proven in that. That's why it's essentially a no brainer. Then on top of that, like um, how hard Caleb Plant worked, seeing Caleb Plant working with James Toney, workshop and shit, seeing James Toney, seeing Caleb Plant adding people to his corner like Breadman Edwards. And anybody who knows me know I love Breadman Edwards. He's a scientist. He's a PA player. You know what I'm saying? He's from PA, so and he's just a wise boxing mind and a very skillful individual at everything he touches, whether it's finances, hence Breadman, or whether it's boxing. You know what I'm saying? High IQ. So I got to rock out with the family and rock out with Caleb Plant. So it's a double whammy with me. It's Caleb Plant, the white boy with soul and a black girlfriend, and then also, you know what I'm saying, Caleb Plant. Also the PA connection with Breadman Edwards. So yeah, again, it ain't no thing. On top of the fact that I actually like Caleb Plant as a boxer and believe he can do it. But for the final topic, guys, keeping it short and sweet, seeing as I wasn't able to bring a guest in this time, so I do apologize. But the final topic for the day is AB versus Michael Williams Jr. So off the rip, everybody was calling Michael Williams Jr. A bum and all of this nonsense, saying it's a mismatch and look at this BS that they're presenting us with. I have a lot to say to that. First thing I have to say to that is what's the difference in Michael Williams Jr. and David Avenesian? I mean, really, at this point, what was the difference between Michael Williams Jr. and David Avenesian? You could say as ranking position, but we all know that all of these sanctioning bodies, I can't put no negative jacket on the IBF, but we know all of these sanctioning bodies have proof of taking payola and have corruption within their ranking systems. So we can't use ranking to draw a difference between Michael Williams Jr. and David Avenesian. And this ain't just picking fun at Bud Crawford. It's just a BLK Prime defense, if you will, because they're saying, look at what BLK Prime is presenting us. But I mean, even to sustain that, the analogy, like, what's the difference between a Michael Williams Jr. and and a and a crew, fuck, the crews that Tank fought, you know, or fucking in Devin Haney's case, or fucking shit, I'm missing Antonio Moran. What's the difference between a Michael Williams Jr. and an Antonio Moran, or a Michael Williams Jr. and a you know, the guy I said before? Because what a lot of people miss is all of these fighters are being brought along fighting BS competition. They get brought along fighting people who have losing records. So when you see Michael Williams Jr. and you never heard of him before and you have no reason to believe in him, then you're like, oh, look at this guy, he just fought bums. But then when you pull up your favorite fighter's resume, and that's me included, when I pull up my favorite fighter's resume, they all fought guys with losing records to start out. The only person who jumped in the game fighting guys without a losing record, as far as I could see, and even that guy had a losing record, he just happened to be a champion, was Lomachenko. You know what I mean? And that's just off the rip on the men's side, because clearly the GWOAT is in a conversation of her own. Like, she's putting everybody to shame. She is boxing right now. But I'm just saying, like, Tank's first 11 opponents or so, yeah, Tank's first 11 opponents all had losing resumes. Check it out. Devin Haney's, all of our favorite fighters, Earl Spence, Bud Crawford, Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, you name them. Roy Jones, probably. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it works in the sport of boxing. The difference, not to pat myself on the back on no crazy shit, but I have a good manager. So, you know, I was able to tell him, like, hey, I want the smoke. And I went out to try to fight 4-0, you know, someone without a losing record, a prospect, and then also a debuter who's a touted amateur, 2 times Golden Gloves and shit like that. So I wasn't trying to be brought up or be built, meaning I'm showing you the difference. You can either be built or you can come in trying to bite motherfuckers' heads off like a Loma or like a Clarissa Shields. I may not have been successful, but I wasn't trying to be built. But all of your favorite fighters have been built in the same way that Michael Williams Jr. has been built. This isn't necessarily a defense for Michael Williams Jr. Again, this is more so a defense for BLK Prime. They're trying to present the masses are trying to make it seem as if this is a BS fight. They're presenting us the return of Adrian Broner fighting someone who has 1 loss. They presented us Terrence Crawford versus Avnesian, and I can't say we, but people who love Bud were astounded. They thought this was amazing. They said BLK Prime is the next big thing. They're going to be like the next DAZN. But then when it comes to Adrian Broner, that same love isn't shown or reciprocated. And I'm just like, that's funny. But they can't just say what they think. They can't just say AB trying to get a bag or AB fighting a bump. They're saying, look at what BLK Prime is presenting. Look at Michael Williams Jr. They're deflecting instead of actually just looking at the fact that this is a regular fight. BLK Prime is actually giving us a regular fight. Another regular fight like what they gave us with Bud. Bud's fight wasn't anything astronomical, but it also wasn't anything worse than what we're about to see with AB and Michael Williams Jr. Also, in Michael Williams Jr. defense, the kid is 6'1". So if you didn't see that in your research, you missed something clearly. The kid is 6'1", and he's fighting Adrian Broner. And on top of that, he has a 6'1" nigga reach, meaning he got a 74-inch reach. Like, he got long ass arms. So if you don't think this is going to be an interesting fight for Adrian Broner, then you really just hating on Adrian Broner. And also, if taking that into consideration that the guy has only one loss, meaning he has less losses than AB, who's the A side. He's 6'1". He has a 74-inch reach and 20 wins and only one loss. I mean, you can't really knock BLK Prime for doing that. That's a better opponent on paper, based off of what I just gave y'all, than Ivan Redcatch was. The only difference is you knew who Ivan Redcatch was. So is it bad that this is an actual cold black affair, that we get an all black show, or is it just bad that you don't know who Michael Williams Jr. is? Because you knew who Ivan Redcatch was, and that was cool. You knew who Hank London was, and that was cool. But both of them have more losses if you put them together than Michael Williams Jr. has wins. And if you put them together, Michael Williams Jr. has less losses than both of them. So, like, I'm just saying, like, the guy on paper is a better opponent than what people are perceiving him to be. And this is going to be a hell of a fight. I got to say it in my Floyd voice. It's going to be a hell of a fight. He's a hell of a fighter. He's a hell of a fighter. It's going to be a hell of a fight. I promise you that. And I'm just saying, like, when you think of an Adrian Broner show, he's either going to let his hands go or he's not going to let his hands go. And we don't know what to expect from Michael Williams Jr. So that in itself provides anticipation and excitement. So I'm looking forward to it. If y'all don't already know, boxing don't get nothing from me outside of me actually boxing, unless I support the actual individual. So I can buy their merch or, support them. But I'm not paying for shit when it comes to boxing. So I'm streaming the fuck out of it. But that said, that was our final topic. Family, for anybody who got here late, please tap that like button. I appreciate you even stopping by. And since we're wrapping up, if you got here late, feel free to take it to the top. We keep it replay friendly whenever we don't got a special guest co-host. But that said, I'm going to get into some housekeeping items, some closing items. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. There are 3 ways to support the channel, family. 3 ways to support the channel. 1, shopusualsuspect6.com. Shopusualsuspect6.com and get you some combat tool bag merch. We got warm weather gear, cool weather gear. We got everything. Combat tool bag, shoes, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Support your boy. ShopUsualSuspect6.com. Way number 2, we got the Hustle God series. You can type in Hustle God series on Amazon.com or Hustle God Methodology, or even just my name, Michelangelo Turner, on Amazon, and you'll find an entry-level financial literacy series. 1, Hustle God Linguistics of Money. 2, Hustle God Masterpiece Daily Golden Mind Molding. 3, Hustle God Afro Gold Part 1. And 4, Hustle God Art of the Hustle. You'll find those 4 books, and there will be a 5th installment soon, but they're available on Amazon.com. The links are in the description. And lastly, the final way to support the channel, third and final way, is you can sponsor an athlete creator by diving in the Cash App, donating to the Cash App anytime, anything. It all goes a long way and helps me on the journey. The cash tag is $, Hustle God Inc. $, Hustle God Inc. Again, that said, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. You successfully reached in your combat tool bag one more again. Shout out to the mighty LDBC, the whole LDBC, the Trilitary, the TWT. And we up out of here, people. Deuces.